Hello, everyone, and welcome back to First and 15 Fantasy Football Podcast. If you haven't already, please give us a like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel so that we can continue to give you the best fantasy football content and the most effective strategies to win you your season. Please follow as we continue to give you the most hot topics, discussions, and analysis in and around the league, fantasy football updates, injury analysis, and effective strategies so that you can win during your championship season. Hello, everyone. This is Carlos, and welcome back to another episode of First and 15 Fantasy Football Podcast. We're going to be getting and diving into the AFC North. Now, let's get into the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of key changes happening with this offseason. Obviously, Big Ben retired. You're going to have a new quarterback coming into the system. You have Mitch Trubisky being your veteran quarterback, trying to lead and navigate as Kenny Pickett hopefully makes a competition out of this preseason and see if he's going to be your number one quarterback. They wouldn't pick Kenny Pickett high on the draft order if they didn't think he was going to come in and make an immediate impact on this team. The first individual the other individual we'll get into is DJ. DJ, finished the season with 107 receptions, 1,161 yards. Fantastic season, well over 100 receptions, well over 1,000 yards. That's going to be evident in their fantasy production. He did miss one game throughout the season. He did have a knee contusion. We did a video last year and we looked at the analysis of that injury, or list that condition, and what the play happened, and we did anticipate that he would miss one game, and he did come back. So those prognostic factors throughout the season, specifically when we give you information or give you information according to their condition, we're trying to give you real-time information that may be affecting that person, that may either be delaying their healing, or you need to make adjustments, or how long they're going to be out, because injuries is a key part of the game, and we want to make sure that you understand that their stats is also affected according to how they perform, not only just on the X's and O's with just who the offensive coordinator is, or who the head coach is and how many plays, but also the performance of that individual, and it's impacted in their fantasy production. So make sure you keep up to date with that. The other individual that did have, a couple of injuries throughout the season was Chase Claypool. He did miss 2 games. He did have a hamstring strain in week 4, and then he also had a toe injury in week 9, and so he missed 1 game for each of those conditions. But again, relatively healthy. He was able to play through some of these conditions. He finished the season with 59 receptions, 860 yards. 14 rush and attempts and 96 yards. So again, hopefully with this new quarterback, we're going to see that maybe they involve him more, and you're going to see that reception rate go up from 59 to perhaps maybe 70, 75 receptions, and now he's hitting more close to 1,000 yards within that season, because now you have a more versatile quarterback delivering the ball more accurate, hopefully, and more often to Claypool, rather than just giving DJ the ball. I felt like last year Big Ben really kept DJ as kind of your safety blanket, very similar to that Antonio Brown rule that he used to have in the past, but very well much viable for DJ, because DJ could deliver in that sense. But I see that the system's going to evolve. Matt Canada is going to continue to evolve. He's going to know these players, and he's going to want to continue to involve them in the offense, and hopefully you're going to see that Claypool makes another leap. Right now, DJ is going around 4 overall in best ball leagues right now in FFPC, and Claypool is going 9 overall right now, so he's going well 3-4 rounds later, even in rounds 10. And so individuals that are going before him are like Christian Kirk, Drake London, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Ayuk, Kadarius Toney. Those are all individuals that are also going before Claypool. I could very well see Claypool making a leap, again with the hopefully the evolution of the quarterbacks, and the opportunities come more to Claypool. We'll keep an eye on that. Some other key notable wide receivers we'll get into is going to be Juju, but before him is James Washington. James Washington got traded over to Dallas, and he's going to be your 95th ranked overall wide receiver in your redraft leagues. He was able to play in all 17 games, so he stayed relatively healthy, but didn't offer too much fantasy production. 2 rushes, 13 yards, 24 receptions, 285 yards, 2 reception TDs. We'll see if he makes a bigger impact with the Dallas Cowboys, and then with that system itself. Ray McLeod also didn't offer too much fantasy production in the Steelers. Played all 17 games, stayed relatively healthy, did not suffer any significant injuries, but didn't offer any real fantasy production. Your other key notable wide receiver for your Pittsburgh Steelers is Juju Smith. Juju Smith, unfortunately, did suffer a significant injury. He suffered a shoulder dislocation, and that shoulder dislocation, he actually had a fracture. When that happens, specifically, the humerus comes out of socket, and he can either go backwards or forwards or downwards. And when that happens, the bone of your humerus hits up against the scapula bone, and sometimes that can chip or fracture. And that was the case for Juju. They had to shut him down. Unfortunately, he did miss significant amount of time because of it. He did miss 12 games. He only played in 5. He had a rib injury in week 3 and then suffered the AC joint separation dislocation week 5, and missed the rest of the season. He did get traded to Kansas City Chiefs, and so we know that Tyreek Hill is no longer part of the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're going to see whether Juju Smith can make an impact with the Kansas City Chiefs. I anticipate that he does make a healthy recovery. Obviously according to whatever the labor repair was, he did have labor repair. The labor repair was done in October of 2021. You can anticipate anywhere between 4 to 6 months for those things to recover and to return to play. There's going to be a significant amount of time for him to have healing throughout this offseason. So we're going to keep up on the reports to determine whether he is making more improvements, at least making attempts to practice during the training camp, and see where he's at with that. The last notable individuals are your tight ends for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Pat Freiermuth was able to play relatively healthy throughout the entire season. He only missed 1 game. He did have a concussion. Remember that when individuals have a concussion, they're going to miss at least 7 to 10 days, and that perhaps put that next week in jeopardy. So have that in the back of your mind when some of these individuals suffer concussions, that you have an adjustment to make in real time for your fantasy leagues. For Pat, he's ranked overall 14th tight end in redraft leagues. He added 60 receptions, 497 yards, 7 reception TDs. Eric Ebron is your other tight end. He is actually a free agent now. He also only played in 7 games. He missed 10 games. He had a hamstring strain, and then he had a knee patellar strain in week 11, in which he missed 8 games. So he had a significant injury. And we'll see what he is able to do now through the offseason. He's able to recover, and who would be a viable team for him. I would anticipate that Eric Ebron definitely maybe gets picked up in a practice squad, or when an injury happens to a tight end in one of the 32 teams. That's the only way I see him being any viable. He's your 50th ranked tight end overall, so not too much fantasy production there. But some key acquisitions that you're going to have for the Pittsburgh Steelers, like we had talked earlier, is going to be Mitch Trubisky. Obviously being a veteran quarterback that's going to at least come in and manage the game. At least offer some opportunities for Kenny Pickett to pick up the game, at a pace in which he can, and give us some, leeway for that. But we're looking to see that Kenny Pickett, comes in and makes an immediate impact. I'm really curious to see, what's his evolution as the training camp goes on. Is he bringing the smoke? Are they continuing to, open up the offense now that, they're utilizing Kenny in more, packages, because he's going to be more young and healthy and springy and versatile. And then you're going to have your key acquisitions like George Pickens, your wide receiver from Georgia, which they just picked up as a rookie. And then you have Calvin Austin. George Pickens comes in as ranked 66 wide receiver overall in your redraft leagues right now. And in Dynasty, your 10th overall rookie. So we're going to see if George Pickens comes in and makes an immediate impact too, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So look at him on your draft boards, to see whether these are kind of your flyers towards the ends, your rounds 14s, 15s, 16s, 17s, and so on, and see if you can pick up some of these, flyers going on right now, which, some of these rookie wide receivers coming into play. And so again, when I'm looking at the draft boards right now, George Pickens right now is not he's not even on the draft boards right now, not even around 20. And so we'll see again if he makes more an impact during the training camp and makes some more draft opportunities for these best ball leagues or your FFPC leagues. But those are your Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll see what type of changes they make, or at least what are the evolutions and what are the opportunities for some of these individuals coming into play and making some immediate impacts, or making some more impacts or opportunities like Claypool and DJ as the season goes on. So again, this is your First and 15 Fantasy Football Podcast. Follow us on Twitter. We'll see you next time. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.